Hello crafty friends, I'm Lien from Studio Kato and I'm so happy to be back with another video today and so happy you're joining me as well. I am making a really simple duo of cards today, Christmas cards with the new Bibi's Snowflakes collection from Spellbinders. These are the two main products I'll be using. This huge one, it's a lot larger than an A2 size card, is the Snowflake card creator, and the idea is that you make a shaped snowflake card. I'm not doing that today, but that is the idea behind that die set. That smaller die set is the delicate snowflakes, and these are layering dies. So you assemble them with lots of floral pieces as well, and you can see that the card creator also has some floral pieces. Now, before I started making my cards, I actually made my sentiments. This is a new hot foil set from Spellbinders. It's not part of the Bibi Snowflakes collection, but I really loved these sentiments, so I had to purchase them. These are the comfort and joy sentiments, and I always love when companies come out with these sentiment sets that create multiple sentiments at once. Here you have one die set and one die and two hot foil plates. These are quite small hot foil plates, so I find them easier to foil. A lot easier than larger foil plates. I don't know if that's just me, but I always have an easier time with them. And I'm foiling both sets of sentiments onto matte gold cardstock with opaque white foil. It's one of my favorite ways to make sentiments, and I find foiling works a lot better usually than white heat embossing on specialty cardstock like this, so I really like it. I am using the Glimmer system, the opaque white foil like I mentioned, which comes in a set with opaque black and white foil. I mostly just use the white, but I still think it's worth buying the whole set. I foiled them together, but the die only cuts one of the sets at once, so I will have to die cut this twice. So you just line the die up and it cuts out all of those sentiment strips all at once, and it's really, really handy. Especially for things like Christmas cards, because we always end up making so many of them. Now let's get into my first card here. I am using a very limited color scheme for this card duo. And its color scheme I often go back to for Christmas cards. It's craft cardstock, white, and a deep red and some gold accents. And it always works. It never misses. It's always really fun for Christmas cards. It's one of those classic color schemes. And I went back to this color scheme because I have been making so many Halloween cards. You've probably seen them on my channel and on my Instagram. I've been having so much fun with them. But because I work together with a lot of companies, I sometimes have to make something that is not the vibe I'm feeling right now. So Christmas cards, I'm not really in the mood for making Christmas cards at the moment. I still have fun making them once I get started, but coming up with the ideas is what I struggle with right now. So when I struggle with coming up with ideas, I always come back to a concept that I've done before, whether that's a layout I'm familiar with or a product I really like to work with for Christmas cards. Maybe I have a favorite stem set or something. Maybe I'll do that. But for new products, I often go back to familiar color schemes to get my creative juices flowing. And keeping the layout simple really helps as well, because that just tells my brain that this card isn't going to take ages to make. And even if I'm not super in the mood to create Christmas cards, I always need so many Christmas cards anyway, so it'll be good to make one. But if I don't have to spend a lot of time on it, I struggle a lot less to get it actually done, you know? So for this one, I just went with a really simple centered design. I glued that large snowflake on top of that craft panel. I did double up the layers for that large snowflake, and you didn't see me do that because it was a struggle. That snowflake is so large and delicate. I really struggled layering it up, and I had my head over the snowflake and underneath the camera the entire time. You couldn't see me do it anyway, so I cut it out of the video. But yeah, that was a little bit of a struggle. These smaller snowflakes are a lot easier to layer up and assemble as well. So you have those floral pieces. I cut those out of red cardstock. This is cranberry cardstock from Concord and 9th. It's one of my favorite reds. It's a really nice deep red, perfect for Christmas. And then I have some gold glitter cardstock for all the leaf accents. There are center pieces for each snowflake as well, and you can mix and match these. I don't think there's a set combination for centers per snowflake or something like that. I just took whatever center I was feeling right then and there and glued that on the snowflake. I'm going to prop that smaller snowflake up on some foam tape, just a little piece of foam tape right in the center of that snowflake. And this is just going to set it a little bit more apart from that large snowflake, because they do blend together a little bit since they're both snowflakes, they're both white. There's not a lot of color to set them apart, so dimension really helps there. I'm also going to prop my sentiment strip up on some foam tape, and I wish I had added a second layer of foam tape there because it has to go over that larger snowflake, and because I doubled up the layers there, it's a little bit wonky, and it would have been better if it was 2 layers of foam tape. That always compensates a little bit more because foam tape is squishy. For my second card, I'm also going to be using these glimmering snowflakes, and these are really fun. So it's a little strip of snowflakes that you foil, and you can just use that. That's what I'm going to do on this card. However, there's also a coordinating die that cuts out each individual snowflake, which is really, really cool. And I think I am going to have tons of fun with that. I can see snowflake wreaths in my future. If I had heat-resistant acetate right now, I would have foiled them on acetate and just made a quick background with them. That would be really cool. And foiling them on acetate means that you just see the foiling and the rest of the die cut is clear, so you can prop it up on any background, and that would be really fun. But yeah, I didn't have heat resistant acetate. I've ordered a little bit right now, so I can do that in the future maybe. I'm again using that opaque white foil onto craft cardstock, and that is why I'm using different craft cardstock for this card. I wanted to use the other cardstock because it's a lot warmer toned. It's a lot warmer toned craft cardstock. This is the wheat cardstock from Concord and 9th. And I chose this for my foiling because it's very, very smooth. Concord and 9th colored cardstock is super smooth and it's great to foil with. I rarely have any issues with it. Obviously, foiling on colored cardstock isn't foolproof, but Concord and 9th cardstock does make it a lot easier. There are other smooth cardstocks out there. I just have very limited brands of colored cardstock, and from the brands I have, Concord and 9th is definitely the easiest to foil. I'm using 2 more snowflakes from the Delicate Snowflakes die set. One you can see laying on my card, and the other one is the one with those tulip-like flowers on there. And I am, again, cutting the flowers out of red cardstock. And I have layered this snowflake up. These are 2 layers of white cardstock. The other snowflake is just going to be 1 layer. It's just going to be behind this tulip snowflake. And the most difficult part here, and it's not difficult at all, but you do have to keep it in mind, is these tiny leaves. They are directional. So the left leaf isn't going to fit on the right leaf side. That wasn't the case with the larger snowflake, so just be aware of that and keep it in mind while you're putting it together. You can see it, but because the pieces are so small, it's a little bit more difficult to see before you start adhering them down, so it's good to know beforehand. Then I have another little sentiment strip here from that Comfort and Joy hot foil set, and I am propping that up on some foam tape. I am also propping that snowflake up on some foam tape as well. It's again just going to be a little square of foam tape in the center, just a teeny tiny bit, and then I'm weaving that sentiment strip through the layers of the snowflake, just to make it look a little bit more intentional and like it, this just makes it look like it's more part of the design when it's woven in that snowflake as well. I did add a bunch of pearls, white pearls, to this snowflake. You can see them there, and that just adds a little bit more shine and shimmer to it. And here I also added some embellishments around my snowflake and my sentiment strip as well. And that finishes off this really simple duo of cards. After the die cutting was done, this took me, I think, half an hour to make. Both cards, it just took me half an hour to put together. So really, really simple and great to make for your Christmas cards. Now, sticking to like a limited color palette like that is always going to speed up your card making. So if you need to make a ton of Christmas cards, just pick a color palette beforehand. That always helps. I hope you like these cards. I hope you liked the video. If you did, make sure to leave a thumbs up on this video. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know which products of these was your favorite, and which one you might want to try for your Christmas cards as well. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.